fixing to get started, heading out to my stand. It's windy, man, it's gusting. You can hear thunder off in the distance. Ought to be an interesting morning if I could stay in the tree and not get blown out. I'm sitting dead on top of the bed area. These deer are going to be hunkering down in because of all this wind. I'm hoping maybe get a 5-7 yard shot on the deer. Gonna be a crazy morning if things work out. Me and Mike, shine a light on your face, Mike. There he is. We're going out there to kill 2 giant bucks. He's gonna kill his today and I'm gonna kill mine today. We got our tree stands already set up out there. I'm gonna have a 5-7 yard shot on a bedded buck. You're gonna maybe have a 15-20 yard shot on a buck cruising the edge. Let's go get him. Well, I got in here clean without getting snorted at. Didn't jump a deer as far as I know. I'm right on the edge of bedding. I got a bed about 15 yards to my right, 30 yards out straight in front of me, another one about 10 yards to my left. Dead under the tree, I got a scrape. Deer should walk this edge, going in and out of bedding. Hopefully I can get it done this morning. Feels good. You know, it's about 7:30 and I heard some grunting earlier, at least I think I did. This wind is so loud that it's really hard to tell. But a normal person would probably get down and leave this spot because this wind is kicking all directions, all out into the bed area, cross winds. I've been pitching my cotton up in the air and it'll go straight up in the air, it'll go straight to the ground. It just, you don't know where it's going. But the rut is kicking in and anything can happen. And this is one of those spots. So I'm gonna tough it out. Hope for a little bit of luck. Y'all wish me some. Okay, I need it. As you can see, this buck is bedding down right on the edge, just above me. Now there's a lot of beds out there, so you never know which bed they're going to get in. This one here just happens to be a little bit too far out of bow range for me, and too thick for air to get through. And I wouldn't shoot this deer anyway, but it's nice to know that I got some deer coming in and starting to bed down. Boy, once they lay down in the ground and they get still, they just about become invisible. You can't see them. I'm looking all over the place in my little 3-inch viewfinder on my camcorder, and he has practically disappeared on me. So, makes you wonder how many deer bed out in that thick stuff we never do know about. I've got this buck bedded just about 40 yards from me right now. This wind is relentless. I don't believe for a minute that he hasn't smelt me, but he don't act like it. Well, if he does, he don't know where I'm at because the wind's going all different directions. That's pretty cool. I've been sitting here watching him. He almost fell asleep one time laid his head all the way down. He's got his head up looking around every once in a while. He'll grunt. Just laying there in his bed, he'll grunt. Pretty cool. Now usually buck deer will grunt when they come into the bed area, or a buck deer laying down will grunt at another buck that's coming in, and I've not seen another buck. This wind's blowing so hard I can't hold the camera steady. He got up, kind of turned around, facing the other way. He laid back down. He can't make up his mind which way he wants to look. Anyway, he's been there about an hour. I thought he went to sleep one time, but then he stood up, turned around. Well, it's been about 2.5 hours and this buck ain't got up, but one time kind of spun around like a dog and laid right back down, facing the opposite direction. I guess he's gonna be here all day. Well, it's getting on up in the day now. I'm getting kind of hungry. This deer's probably been laying here well over 4 hours now. Won't be long. Mike will be coming out of the woods. He done texted me a couple of times asking me if I was ready. They're really hard to spot. Sitting there like that in that bed. He's been there all morning long. Mike's coming out of his tree stand now. I'm hoping that, let's see what the buck will do when Mike comes up through here. Looks like he's watching me now. The way he's acting. He probably won't get up unless Mike walks straight to him. Makes you wonder how many times you've been sitting in a tree stand and had a deer 40 yards away from you and didn't know it. Well, Mike and I are down on the ground now, heading back out. We're easing along pretty slow when we spot this doe. She stood up out of her bed. She's just watching us. She does not want to run. When it's windy like this and they get buried up in that thick cover, you almost got to kick them like a rabbit to get them to move. We're not so sure that maybe a buck's not with her and they could be on lockdown, so we're both kind of just standing real still to see if the buck stands up. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a shot at him. Mike's got an arrow knocked already. I got the camera ready just in case one does stand up. Situation like this, you just never know. You got the rut going on, thick cover, doe standing there, doesn't want to leave, could have a buck with her, he could have her in lockdown, and if she's standing up, he is not going to stand up until she makes a move. And that's our game strategy right now. We've already whispered and talked to each other about it. We're just watching her, see what she does. You can watch her licking that nose, trying to get a better smell of us. That wind's going so many different directions, it's almost impossible for her to get our wind at this moment. Now the way she looked back just then, and now she's decided which way to go, that makes me believe that there is a buck back in that thicket, not too far from her. But as she eased off, we tried circling around to see if we could maybe spot the buck. We never laid eyes on him, and when she went in the thicket, she was pretty much gone. Well, our afternoon hunt was pretty much like our morning hunt. Windy as could be. Sitting up in that tree, rocking back and forth after a full belly was about all I could do to stay awake. Finally settled down right at dark. You could hear the raindrops in the woods right now. That wind blowed in a little rainstorm. Not quite enough to make us run, head for cover, but enough to kind of get everything damp and wet. I had just got my camera back out from being in my dry bag, getting it all set back up when these deer eased out of the woods and got right up under this tree stand. I was hoping and praying that there might be a buck behind them, but it don't always work out that way. Sometimes the deer just win. Actually, they win most of the time, but I sure do enjoy the challenge and staying after these critters. I believe it was Barry Wenzel that made the comment that hunting with a bow is a game of how close, not how far. And I love seeing just how close I can get to these deer. It's a game I never get tired of. You guys get out there and give it a try. It's addictive.